Hey guys, what's up? It's Tenney here. Welcome to the Tenney Talks podcast. This is episode 2, and as always, if you have any questions for the next podcast for episode 3, let me know in the comment section down below this video, and I'll be sure to answer that in the next podcast. Because this isn't live, this is obviously pre-recorded. I thought about doing it live for a while, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of go along with it because I'm not like a bigger YouTuber. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna start off small. But in the background we have some Sly Cooper I'm playing today, live as always, which is the kind of the theme of this podcast. I just bring up I play games in the background while talking about things that's interesting to me, like media stuff, a lot of times some TV shows, some news stories, which we do have one today that I'm not going to get... I'm going to get into detail about it, but I'm not going to go over every detail, more of just an opinion piece. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that, and I just got completely destroyed by that Bulldog and Sly Cooper. Okay. So, the first... oh my gosh. The first subject I want to talk about is hard tasks in video games. And, but when I mean tasks, I mean, some achievements, some things to get 100%, some to max out a character. And the ones I'm really focusing on today are Final Fantasy X and Uncharted. So I like to consider myself to be someone that likes to put a lot of effort into a game just to get some achievement out of it or something. But at the same time, I really don't, because I always get put off by how difficult some tasks are in order to get a trophy or an achievement on Steam, or just even to get a character maxed out on a game. For example, we have Final Fantasy X. One of the tasks you have to do is in the Thunder Plains, which is a level in the game, or a part of the game, where there's obviously lightning and thunder. Why don't they call it the Lightning Plains? That would make more sense. You're getting struck by lightning, not thunder. But I digress. You have to dodge 200 lightning bolts in a row in order to, I think it's to max out one of the characters. I'm not sure who it is off the top of my head, but it's something that I've never been able to do because it's completely ridiculous. Who would ever be able to sit there for 200 lightning strikes? I get bored with 5 and not. And did I mention if you mess up the thing at all, you have to redo the entire thing? For example, if I get to 199 dodge in a row and then I get hit on the 200th one, I have to start over at 1 and go all the way from 1 to 200 again, or from 0 to 200 again, which is very frustrating. And I've actually never put an attempt into doing it. Sarcastically, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna try to dodge 5 in a row or something, but I always get hit in the 3rd or 4th one because I'm not good at that sort of rhythm gaming stuff. I used to be pretty good at Guitar Hero, but not expert. It's not. Honestly, it probably isn't that hard. It's just the fact that you have to wait so long to do it that a lot of people just give up, including myself, and it's not really even worth the time or the effort. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I think you do get an achievement for dodging 200 of the lightning bolts, and I am getting destroyed in freaking Sly Cooper right now. I apologize. I was also kind of tempted to make the background of this game Final Fantasy X. I might do that for the next one. I also might do other ones. Sometimes I'll do dual things where I kind of just use the same game over and over again. I kind of wanted to do a Jurassic World again because I wanted to progress that more, but maybe I'll do that for tomorrow's episode. We'll find out though, or we'll see. But the other one I was going to talk about is Nathan Drake, the collection on PS4. I have never played Nathan Drake up until the last few months, the last 3 months, I'd say. I beat all of the games, other than the 4th one, minus the 4th one. I don't have the 4th one yet, but, I beat them all on, I think, normal difficulty or hard. I want to say normal, but now I'm doing the games on crushing difficulty, which is slowly crushing my spirit and, will to complete the game. Actually, if you hear a fan in the background, I'm pretty sure that's my PS4 fan, so I apologize. I'm on the part where you're, under, I can't remember, it's chapter 5, I think, and you're in, this little sewer area, and you have to, fend off, a freaking 1,000 guards. Not 1,000, but, I don't know, it's not too difficult, but how quickly you die is just so frustrating to me, because when you die, it's quick. Sometimes you'll have a chance to get away, but then other times, you'll just get out in the open for a second, and then next thing you know, you're getting shot in the back and just immediately dying, it's frustrating, I'll admit, because I'm not the most patient of gamers when it comes to 100%ing a game, especially on like a crushing difficulty. It's not even a hard difficulty. It's literally called crushing. And I'll admit, it's been kind of just crushing me a little bit because it's been so difficult. But yeah, I'm trying to do 100% completion on PS4 for those games, which I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me. I might never get it done because I'm not really the greatest person at third-person shooters. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the games, and they're some of my favorite PlayStation games, like, period now, because they're so awesome. But I don't know if I don't know if I'll be able to 100% it completely, but we'll see. And by 100%ing, I mean getting all the achievements on PS4. Because I've never really I've tried to achievement hunt in the past before, but I've never been able to 100% a game. Including Final Fantasy X, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. Sly Cooper, even this game, haven't been able to 100% it because, as you saw at a few minutes ago when I was in the time trials, I was just getting completely destroyed by the time. I couldn't possibly get through that slower because I'm just not like a quick gamer. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'll beat some of the time trials because they're a little bit ridiculous. Like, it's just like, get through this level in a minute and 30 seconds, and here I am like 5 minutes in, and I'm not even halfway through the level, which is pretty funny, but also sad. So, what else do we have on the list? Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know if I should keep talking about hard Destiny video games. Like, okay, so like there are other games that, including, I think a lot of them are in the Final Fantasy category, which I haven't played through all of Final Fantasy games. I do have. I bought a few of them when it was on sale, the franchise. I think I bought 3, 4, and 5, and I had 7 beforehand on Steam. And also a 10, 10-2, and I think that might be it. And I can't wait to get 15 if it eventually comes to PC. So I'm really interested in playing that. But I know that the 200 lightning bolts thing isn't even the most ridiculous thing that you have to do in that game. Like, it's weird because like there's literally things that we have like a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting something, and people can spend years, literally years, on doing some of the missions or not upgrades, but I don't want to say bonus content. What's the word I'm looking for here? Trying to do some of the basically to 100% the game. It takes a lot longer than what people think for those types of games, because you have things that are ridiculous, like you have a 1 in 10,000 chance of it's something ridiculous like that. It's a very, very high number, percentage wise, or pretty low percentage chance, I should say, of getting it, because it takes so long for people to do. And I couldn't imagine putting myself into that position where I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna try to 100% this game over the course of like 4 years of my life. Like, no thanks, man. I'll just take the loss on the achievement there. If you're asking me, I don't even know if it's an achievement though. Like, is it just if it's just even it's even worse if it's just in game, because you probably could have beaten the game like a dozen times over, and the chance that in the same time that you'd be getting that one achievement, it's just like it's not even worth doing at that point, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know. There are some diehard completionists out there which I can understand, because I like to consider myself to be a completionist, but I don't know. I just couldn't see myself putting that much dedication into it. But that's just me, so I don't know what you guys think in the comment section down below of this podcast. What's up on the list next? Rewatching old TV shows. Yeah, so like, okay, so I'll go back and like watch TV shows that I've watched before, and like even older. I was gonna add this to the list, but it's kind of a different category. But like, I'll go back and watch stuff after I've already watched it, as like a kind of a returning point kind of thing. Like, I'll just go back and watch it to get a good laugh, or just like see a really good episode of something. Just to see like the format, and just like looking for other like Easter eggs or like foreshadowing things. But one thing I want to talk about is like old versus new cartoons. And I've got to say, like, I don't really like cartoons nowadays. They're very, I don't know, I really don't watch any other than like American Dad. But like in terms of like Cartoon Network or something, I really haven't watched anything on that in probably like 6 or 7 years, probably, because I don't know I probably like run the Ben 10 Scooby Doo era. I mean, those are two completely different eras, because Ben 10 wasn't around like 1970s, but yeah, those two. There's more shows than that I enjoyed. Like Bakugan was pretty good. Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously. but they're just the ones that come out now are just not good. Like, I think they're so filtered and just so like ridiculously. I don't even want to say cheesy because there are some funny cartoons that are cheesy, but like I don't know. I think it's just the way that media's kind of evolved, or I think in this case devolved, because it's just completely ridiculous. Like for example, I'll bring up Scooby Doo as a case. Like they had the original show in the '70s, and then they had a few other spin-offs, and then it's like gotten to the point where there's literally one called, I think it's called Be Cool Scooby Doo. It looks ridiculous. It literally looks like a Family Guy spin-off parody, and I tried like I think a year ago or whenever it first came out. I'm not sure. Maybe it was 2 years ago, maybe a year. I'm not sure when it officially came out, the first episode. But when I was like, okay, that's cool, new Scooby Doo. I can get behind this. Are they gonna make it good? Because I was a pretty big fan of Mystery Incorporated, which was from a few years ago, which I thought was actually very well done. Some people didn't like it. I liked it because, like, yeah, some of it was kind of ridiculous, but I liked the overarching mystery, was like going over all the seasons or whatever. But then that got canceled, like all good things. But the new one was completely like awful, and I couldn't. It was like to the point where I couldn't watch the entire thing. It was very cringy, and I say that very loosely because you just have to go watch it. Like I don't know if it got any better after the first episode. I didn't really give it a chance after that, because like even in the worst episodes of that show or like that franchise, like there are still pretty decent episodes or movies, and like you can kind of tolerate watching them or whatever. But the new one I watched was it was bad. It felt like a bad version of a Family Guy parody. Like in the Family Guy one, yeah, you can laugh at it because it uses like profanity and stuff to make it funny. But this one is just like watered down, filtered kid stuff, but then it's like bad. You know what I mean? It's got the second layer of bad to it, which I don't know. It's kind of just bad how things have devolved in that area of television, where it's just like I don't even really want to find out what happens to the franchise next, because they're kind of butchering it slowly as they go. Not even slowly. It was a pretty big jump off a cliff after Mystery Incorporated. I haven't watched any of the movies recently either. I think they're still making them, but I don't know. I know a lot of the voice actors and voice actresses have passed away. Other than, I think, I don't want to say, because I don't want to get the name wrong. I know the actor of Shaggy, I believe, passed away. Casey Kasem? Did he yeah, Casey Kasem did, unfortunately, but, and if I say something, incorrect factually, let me know in the comments down below, because I probably did. But, I don't know, it's just, like, even, like, not even voice actors being the bad thing. I think it's number one, like, the reason why it's bad is just the writing and the consistency of actually making a good show. Like, they pretty much break it down to where they pretty much plan on getting canceled after a season or two. And I really hope that show didn't get a second season, the Be Cool Scooby-Doo one, because it's just, in blatant terms, it's just really, really bad. And really undeserving of a second season, I thought, based on the first episode. But like I said, it could have gotten better. I really don't want to find out, though, because it just kind of destroys my image, or destroys its image even more of Scooby-Doo, so, I don't know. Like, I don't know, other than that, I know Ben 10, like, went on to, I was mentioning that earlier, but I think that went on to make a few more shows. I don't know if they're still going with that. I stopped after, I think, Alien Force. I don't know if I ever made it through the end of that, though. I think we, like, lost Cartoon Network or something on my TV way back in the day when that was on, and I don't think I ever saw the conclusion of that. Then I think I saw an episode, I think it was on Hulu or something, like a few years ago, of the Omniverse one. I think it's called Omniverse, where it was like, had a weird art style. I don't know if I liked it too much. It could have gotten really good, but I don't remember watching too much of that. Maybe I'll go back and do that at some point. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a random topic to talk about on the channel, but I do like the older cartoons more, I think, because it's just, they're not as filtered and not as, like, I don't know, it's not even that they held, like, really bad jokes in them, it's just the fact that they were better written and, like, better voice acted. And, yeah, I think that's, like, two of the main reasons why cartoons are bad nowadays. I think number one's the filtering of it, where it's kind of dumbed down, but then also the aspect of terrible writing. same thing with like shows like on the Disney Channel or whatever. Like you have like terrible actors that. Look, let's not even talk about Disney Channel. Oh my God, they're the way that they portray people are just ridiculous. Like they're brats. It's terrible. I don't understand how anything ever could like get aired like that. But somehow it managed to happen. I'm sure I just triggered somebody by saying that. Like the old one is pretty good, the old Disney Channel. But then the new one has just become to the point where I'm just like, yeah, this is garbage. Just rinse, repeat, and just start over again. Disney, it's not good. But the last thing I want to talk about in this podcast, I know it's probably going to be a little bit shorter than the last one, I think, is the incident of swatting, which is where there's a case going on. I think this happened last week or maybe a few days ago. I'm not entirely sure when the article's from. Or it's a new article, but I'm not sure when the incident was from, so don't quote me on that one. Basically, two guys swatted a person, and they got shot with rubber bullets, which I'm sure was very, very, very painful. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's where people, like, make up lies or something to get a SWAT team delivered to your house and, like, basically try to kill you, which is sick and disgusting, obviously. But the people behind it are actually, if caught, at maximum sentencing, if they get convicted of this, if they go into trial and they actually find them guilty, which they should, they have a 20-year maximum sentence. I'm not sure minimum, if there's like a minimum like 2 years or something. I'm not sure. I didn't read that far into it. I just read the article said there's a maximum of 20, which I think is really good that they're doing that. If they are found guilty, they should spend 20 years in prison, because I look at it as attempted murder almost, because you're making up a lie just to get somebody hurt or in trouble or worse, and I just think that it's something that shouldn't be like scoffed at, and just like go to the maximum punishment, because that's how it's going to be prevented in the future. Hopefully those two people are made an example of, because it shouldn't be happening, obviously. But yeah, I think I'm going to end off this podcast here, though, guys, because I really don't have too much other to talk about in this one. Let me know what you thought about all the topics in the comment section down below this video, and remember, as always, if you have any sort of questions for the next podcast, let me know in the comments down below as well, and I'll be sure to answer them in the next podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic Wednesday. Wow, I'm short the day. And keep calm, trust your instincts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.